And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the heart of the Inland Empire, right here in sunny Southern California, it's Robert Cardoza Live, where we talk about politics, money, and you. This is the intersection of business and politics. And now here's your host, Robert Cardoza.
And welcome aboard. I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to the intersection of business and politics right here on Robert Cardoza Live, where I do an honest, unbiased analysis of the issues confronting you today that affect the decisions that you're going to make for both your personal and your business life. I come to you every Monday through Friday on Spreaker Radio, Roar 1776 Radio, and MyCast Live Radio from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Also on 405 Media Radio every Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Pacific Time, in addition to countless terrestrial stations worldwide. Please follow me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, and YouTube, where you can listen to all of my shows 24/7. Go to my website at www.robertcardozalive.com for archives of all my radio and television shows. You can also access my show live right from my website each day, simply by clicking on that little icon labeled Listen Live. Email me at robertcardozalive@gmail.com. That's where I get all the emails I deal with here on the show. And you can call into my show if you want to comment or just engage me in conversation about anything. Dial directly into the station at 909-545-6516. Again, that number, 909-545-6516. Now, today's show, we're going to discuss what's in the news, new legislation, the IRS loses, and I'm going to answer your emails just like I always do. Today, my expert contributor, Suzette Mailer, environmental journalist, talking about our planet. And my special guest today, Sean Lefebvre. He's talking about healthcare on the Geared for Wellness Corner. But right now, I want you to stand by for news. But first up, I want you to know that oh, you know what? It's interesting. Somehow I've got New York City, and I can tell you that it's 6:02 p.m. Eastern Time. It's currently, this is crazy. Why I've got New York City, I have no idea. But I can tell you at 3:02 p.m. Pacific Time, it's currently 78 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. It's on its way to 62. It's been raining today, and it looks like we're going to expect a little bit more rain. So we'll see what's happening. But you know what? We promised you the news. We're going to do the news. We're going to give you the 10 things to know for today. The things that basically it's your daily look at late breaking news, upcoming events, and the stories that'll be talked about all day today. We've encapsulated it. And you know what? Later on, we'll try and get more in depth on the issues that we really can. But first up, flooding kills at least 8 in Utah-Arizona border town. 5 others are missing in a community that serves as a home base for imprisoned polygamous sect leader Warren Jeffs, authorities say. And Hungary declares emergency in 2 border counties. It does. It's counties. The measure paves the way for the deployment of the Army to assist police with border patrol and migrant-related duties. And North Korea reportedly restarts the nuclear bomb fuel plants. The move, which experts say is designed to spur talks with the United States, will push Pyongyang further toward a standoff with Washington and its allies, especially Seoul and Tokyo. Then, a man dies of gunshot wound after killing a professor and partner. Shannon Lamb is suspected in the shooting deaths of 2 people in Mississippi, including a woman that he was living with and a teacher at Delta State University. Then, wildfire devastates a California mountain town. Middletown is evacuated and gutted by a blaze that shocks firefighters with the strength and speed. And then, the Senate to hold one more vote on the Iran deal. Can you believe it? One more shot at failure. Democrats are poised to block the measure and preserve Obama's foreign policy win. Then, who boosts social work in Cuba ahead of the Pope's visit? Well, the island's Catholic Church and its communist government build a warm relationship, allowing the former to take on activities unimaginable before. And how religious clerks in Kentucky react to Kim Davis's saga. Most of the state's 120 clerical staffers comply with the Supreme Court's order to issue licenses to gay marriage, though many struggle with the decision. And why state house sex scandals matter. They distract elected officials from working on public policy and can cost taxpayers hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees, lost productivity, and special elections. And then finally, Prince Harry to celebrate his 31st birthday, honoring the World War II pilots. He will watch as some 40 Spitfire, Hurricane, and Bristol Blenheim bombers fly in formation before dispersing to wartime airfields in the south of England. You know what? Just, amazing things that are going on in the news today. It's just, I find it astounding that there's so much turmoil in the world today that we can't find good news. All we can do is find bad news, sad news, any kind of news but the good news. You know what? So, let's do this. Let's try and go a little more in depth with the news that's going on. And for some reason, I can't get my computer to, there we go. It's starting to load now. And we got to get this in here to get some current news. And there we go. So it's contact. There it is. So now we finally got it. And let's see here. Top news today. Let's talk about the ferocious... Well, I don't understand. There we go. The ferocious wildfire devastates California mountain town. Earlier this summer, this small mountain town north of San Francisco opened its modest high school to residents fleeing an unusually ferocious wildfire that was nearby. Now, it is Middletown itself that has been evacuated and gutted by another blaze that shocked firefighters with its strength and speed. The town's small cluster of shops and cafes was spared, but behind them, erratic winds sent flames zigzagging down leafy streets, torching some houses and sparing others. Yesterday, some residents returned to find their homes reduced to concrete foundations, chimney stacks, and rubble. One woman wept and embraced her mother as they stood near among blackened appliances and twisted metal where their family home used to be. Nearby, beige houses trimmed in white remained untouched. I'm in shock. I want to cry. I'm looking at my neighbors' places and they're all gone, and I'm still here, homeowner Jim Maurer said. We're just shaking our heads. Over the weekend, the blaze killed an elderly disabled area resident who was trapped in her home. The fire and another in the Gold Rush country of the Sierra Nevada foothills, about 120 miles to the southeast, are the worst of a dozen burning in the state. Between them, they have destroyed 535 homes and hundreds of other structures and displaced 23,000 people, Mark Garladucci, director of the Governor's Office of Emergency Services, told reporters. And then, citing dry conditions from 4 years of drought, Garladucci called this summer's fires some of the most volatile he's seen in 30 years of emergency response work. You know what? Just a sad chain of events going on in the world today. Now, don't go away. When we come back from this short commercial break, we're going to talk about Hungary, and they're declaring an emergency, and they sealed the border, and they're detaining migrants. And I'll tell you all about that after these brief messages. So please, don't go away. We'll be right back with more news.
Want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchase high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call. at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And you know what? We're talking about the news. And right now it's Hungary declares an emergency and seals the border and detains migrants. And that's what's going on here. Hungary sealed off its border with Serbia with massive coils of barbed wire today and began detaining migrants trying to use the country as a gateway to Western Europe. Harsh new measures that left thousands of frustrated asylum seekers piled up on the Serbian side of the border. Human rights activists condemned the move, with Amnesty International saying Hungary's intimidating show of militarized force is shocking. But Prime Minister Viktor Orban defended the measures, saying he was acting to preserve Christian Europe, which he said had become threatened by the large numbers of Muslims streaming into the continent. The supply is nearly endless. We can see how many of them are coming, Orban said in a televised address just before the new laws took effect at midnight. And if we look at the demographics, we can see that these people have more children than our communities who lead a traditional Christian way of life. Mathematics tell you that this will lead to a Europe where our way of life will end up in a minority, or at least face a very serious challenge. By nightfall, Tuesday evening, thousands of migrants, including many babies and children, prepared to fight or spend a night in the open or in flimsy tents erected in the bushes or on the main highway near the Serbian border with Hungary. Men collected wood in a nearby forest for fires in preparation for a chilly night. I hope until now, but it's all gone, lamented Mohammed Mahayani, a 32-year-old Syrian from Damascus, who became separated from his wife as they tried to enter Hungary a day earlier. I lifted the razor wire for her. She got in before Hungarian border patrol came by. He said, now I don't know where she is. You know what? It's sad. I understand Hungary's position. I understand what's going on. It's difficult to deal with all these people. But you know what? Your heart has got to go out to these folks. That's all there is to it. It raises all kinds of concerns. You know, refugee surge to Europe raises concern about the militants also. When Islamic State extremists lost control of a key crossroads town in northern Syria in June, some militants shed their jihadi garb and blended in with the flood of Syrians fleeing across the Turkish border. Since then, the exodus of Syrians and Iraqis toward Europe has surged. And Europeans opposed to taking in more refugees say that more than ever, they fear disguised terrorists in their midst. Makes sense, doesn't it? Governments along the route have different assessments of the threat. Two senior Iraqi officials and a Syrian activist say a small group of hardened Islamic State extremists is believed to have left the war zones of Iraq and Syria to blend in with the masses of asylum seekers in recent weeks. You know what? You've got to be thinking about this, and you've got to be thinking about the safety of the citizens of those countries. You can't just go on and not think about that. Well, let's get on to better things. How about amid the Trump bombast, quiet Ben Carson rises in the GOP 2016 field. Amid all the bombast of the Republican race for President, Ben Carson comes across more like a whisper. He is, in some ways, the anti-Trump, a gentle candidate who lets his record as a renowned brain surgeon speak for itself, the bragging about his resume and place in the polls. On the rare occasions it comes, is delivered with none of the superlatives that Donald Trump can't seem to go without. Yet, the 63-year-old Republican, the only African-American seeking the White House in 2016, has tapped into the same wave of anti-establishment outrage fueling the billionaire reality TV star's rise. The likelihood of someone like me getting through this process and making it to president is virtually impossible, Carson told the Associated Press in a recent interview. I just have to be myself, and if being myself resonates with the American people, then they will choose me. And if it doesn't, he said, they'll choose somebody else. Makes sense, doesn't it? It really does. It just makes sense. That's all there is to it. Well, Mexico says 8 citizens died in Egypt desert attack. Mexico's Foreign Relations Department said today that the embassy personnel in Egypt have identified 6 more bodies as those of Mexican citizens killed in an air attack by Egyptian police and military forces. The deaths of 2 Mexicans had earlier been confirmed, bringing the total number of Mexicans killed to 8. 6 other Mexicans were wounded in the attack. The department said Tuesday that their condition is stable. There were 14 or 15 Mexicans who were traveling on a desert oasis tour at the time. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi today called Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto to offer his condolences and reiterate that Egypt will provide all necessary medical assistance for the injured. Presidency spokesman Ala Yousaf said in a statement in Cairo. They say it's an accident. I don't know that it's not an accident, but it sure seems odd, doesn't it? Well, from the police, college shooting suspect left a note of apology. A university instructor told police he killed his girlfriend at a home that they shared, and investigators found a note there that said, "I'm so sorry, I wish I could take it back," but there was no hint that he was headed a few hundred miles north to kill a colleague, police said today. Shannon Lamb called 911 on Monday, telling a dispatcher that he had killed 41-year-old Amy Prentice at the home they shared in Gaudier, I think that's how you pronounce it, along the Gulf Coast. In the call, Lamb refused to give his name, but says that family contact information can be found on Prentice's phone. He says that their dog is still in the house, and he's a sweet dog, and he's not going to bother anybody, but I'm sure he's upset. When officers responded, they found the note written in all capital letters on a white lined notepad signed by Lamb. "I loved Amy, and she is the only person who ever loved me." Well, you know what? Sad state of affairs, but I guess that's the way it goes. Now, do not go away. When we come back from this commercial break, we're going to talk about the IRS loses. And the first case up is a criminal fraud is not tax fraud. And I'll tell you all about that after these brief messages. Do not go away. We'll be right back.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make the interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
The story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Oh yeah, here we are, my favorite part of the show, the IRS loses. Sends chills up and down my spine, although I got to tell you, it's 78 degrees outside. It's still sending chills up and down my spine whenever I think about the IRS losing. So let's get right to it. First off, a criminal fraud is not tax fraud. Let me tell you about it. An IRS employee who was a compulsive gambler deceived friends into giving him more than $75,000 by saying that he could invest their money for a guaranteed 30% return using fake investment statements to convince them of this fact. He gambled the money away and ultimately pleaded guilty to criminal fraud. The IRS then assessed tax fraud penalties against him for not reporting the $75,000 as income, saying that as an IRS employee, he surely knew that it was taxable to him, and so he protested. He went to tax court, and this is what the judge said. Tax fraud requires active steps to conceal income from the IRS or otherwise mislead it. Merely underreporting income, as here, is not tax fraud. So the penalties are lifted. You know what? And that's just, you know what? I'm telling you, that's just common sense. That's just exactly what you would expect to hear from a court. How about this? The IRS loses. A wife escapes, ready for this, $2.8 million of joint return taxes. Here's the case. Ronald Campbell handled the family finances for his wife Phyllis and aggressively traded commodities, including through accounts that he opened in her name. Now, these made up to $3 million 1 year in profit. But then the markets turned against Ronald, and the illegal tax shelter investment that he made created a $2.8 million tax bill on their joint tax return. Phyllis then objected that she had never even seen the account statements mailed to her, and so she went to court, and this is what the judge actually had to say. imposing a tax liability of more than $2.8 million as a result of a disallowed transaction of which the petitioner had no actual or even constructive knowledge would be extremely inequitable, and so she escapes the tax. And that's exactly what you would expect to have take place. That's what I would think would take place. Wouldn't you? Sure you would. I'll give you another case here. The IRS loses. They cannot prove the value of a gift made 26 years ago. Here's the case. The IRS tried to impose gift tax on shares in a private company that were given to Gordon Davenport by his Aunt Bernie way back in 1980. It could do so because no gift tax was paid at the time, and the lack of a gift tax return kept the normal 3-year statute of limitations from running. So they went to court, and this is what the judge actually had to say. The IRS could not prove the value of the shares way back in 1980. Stock transactions made after 1980 were inadmissible as to their 1980 value, and recently found 1979 stipulation of share value made to settle another family member's estate tax case could, under state law, be used only in that case, not in this one decades later. So the IRS case is dismissed. Isn't that what you expect? Don't you just kind of expect common sense? Yeah, it's kind of far and in between. You don't see common sense when it comes to the IRS very often. At least I haven't seen it very often when you're thinking about these things. So you know what? You ever want to be a fly on the wall when the IRS is doing things? Well, that's what we're talking about today when we talk about inside the IRS. And so you know what? Let's just get right to it here. Oh, yeah, here we are inside the IRS. And sometimes, you know what, we're just trying to tell you some things to be aware of and what's going on. And in this particular case, we're going to talk about when you're selling a car, is it better than trading it in? You ever give that much thought? Well, you should. Let's talk about it a little bit. You know, when it's time to dispose of a business automobile, it can be better tax-wise to sell it for cash rather than trade it in, toward the price of a new vehicle. Why? Depreciation deductions allowed for automobiles are almost always smaller than the real loss of value that they incur over time. Now, for expensive vehicles, the difference can be very, very large. Let me give you an example here. Let's just say a $35,000 car bought, let's say back in 1999, let's use that as an example, and used 100% for business would take 17 years to fully depreciate its cost. That's until the year 2016. That's next year. That's why I went back that far. But most of its value will be gone long before that time. So here's the key. Because of the limited depreciation deductions, the market value of the used business auto will likely be less than its tax basis. That's the acquisition cost minus the depreciation deductions. And when business property is sold for less than its tax basis, a deductible loss results. But there is a trap here. When a car is traded in toward the purchase price of a new vehicle, the IRS considers the transaction to be an exchange rather than a sale, and no loss is currently allowed. The loss effectively is rolled over into the replacement vehicle and is deferred until that vehicle is sold. So here's a strategy for you. Before selling a business auto, compare its tax basis to the price that you expect to get. If the basis is higher, sell it for cash and take a loss deduction right away. That is what's going to help you with your taxes. Now, do not go away. When we come back from this commercial break, we're going to be with our own Sean Lefebvre in his Geared for Wellness corner. So don't go away. You don't want to miss this. I'm not sure. You know, I'm not sure what he's going to talk about. I know that we actually traded some information about the first head transplant that's going to take place, they say, later in this year or early next year. I think it's going to take place someplace in Switzerland. We'll see what Sean has to say about that. Now, if you leave now, you won't hear anything about it. So don't go away. We'll be right back with Sean Lefebvre in his Geared for Wellness corner.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this. The Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 3:32 p.m. Pacific time. Currently 78 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Now, if 78 degrees sounds hot to you, let me tell you, this has been about as cold as it's been for the last couple of weeks. I'm loving this, so it's going to be great. But you know what? Talking about great weather and great things is what we have in store for us right now with our special guest. He's really an expert. I just love this guy to death. Have no idea what we're really going to talk about, but we'll find out. Let's get him in here.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you from his personal meditation lounge in Orange County, California, a professional dedicated to conquering many chronic conditions from autism to weight loss and everything in between. The nationally recognized wellness coach, consultant, and lecturer, Sean Lefebvre, in his Geared for Wellness Corner.
Hey, Sean, welcome aboard. I'm happy to have you here, glad to have you here, thrilled to have you here. You know what? Anytime you're here, I'm happy about it. You're just a terrific guy to have on the air. Well, do you know, it's interesting. It does feel like it's been forever, but it's only been since last Thursday, right? Oh, that's right. You know what? And I told the audience that we were going to talk about this head transplant, but we're really going to talk about all the sex you had over the weekend, right? Oh, is she still with you? Or are you? Oh, then you're having sex by yourself. Now that's a whole different story. I just. You know what? It's good stuff, right? Yeah, it's good stuff. So let me ask you, I used years ago, and I haven't gone that way in a long, long time, used to go up, by San Luis Obispo, but we'd always stop in San Luis Obispo because we always wanted to stay at this unique hotel or motel there called the Madonna Inn. Have you ever stayed there? Well, it's interesting you'd say that because I can remember, being there with guests and having to stand guard at the door of the men's room so the women could go in and see what was going on in there. Well, Sean, I thought I was going to blindside you, but I didn't at all because you know all about it, don't you? Oh. Hey, you know what, Sean? Hang on just a second here because for some reason you're not coming in over the phone system here. And what I'm going to ask you to do is can you call me back on my private line, my cell phone line? Yeah, do that right now. For some reason we're not getting this thing through here, and I don't know why. All right. So anyway, we're going to wait for Sean to call us back in here, and he'll call us in just 1 second. And let's see here. Let's get it over here, and hopefully he'll call me on my private line. And let's see here. Sean, you calling me? Oh, there he goes. Okay, Sean, you with me?
I'm with you.
All right. Yeah, we got a great connection now.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, in fact, I had a couple of text messages waiting for me when I went to call you that said, hey, I can hear Robert, but I can't hear you. So all that stuff that I said, all those profound and amazing things that I just said that basically save the world, nobody got to hear. But I guess we'll just have to move on anyway.
Well, here's what we're going to do, because I'm going to, I want to extend it a little bit. I don't know at what point I lost you on the audio part of this thing, but we've got it fixed now. And what I'd like to do is go back, and where we're talking about the Madonna Inn in San Luis Obispo. By the way, you probably don't know it. You've heard me talk about my son, Bob, and he's got I can't talk about actually what he does. He's got a big job with a big company, and but he went to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo.
Oh my gosh, that's such a great university. Yeah, it's. In fact, I actually was going to college. I was going to go to college there. I was in the Air Force, and I was getting ready to get out, and I had my heart set on going to Cal Poly, and I was going to study forestry, and I was going to become a forest ranger, and that was my ambition in life. And my dad actually was living in Colorado Springs at the time, and he convinced me to come move out there, and I ended up going to the University of Colorado instead. So, but yeah, I actually wanted to go to Cal Poly. I wanted to be a forest ranger.
Well, you know what? I think that's absolutely fantastic. So anyway, hey Sean, hang on a second. We're running a little bit late. I want to go to a commercial break, and then when we come back, we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about, including the Madonna Inn, if that's what you want to talk about.
That sounds great.
And we'll be right back with our own Sean LaFave in the Good for Wellness Corner. Don't go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful in visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're talking to my good buddy Sean LaFay with his Geared for Wellness Corner. Hey, Sean, I don't know what you want to talk about. You want to take a chance of being a little redundant and talking about the Madonna Inn, or in your childhood there?
Well, I can talk about the Madonna Inn since nobody got to hear it last time I was talking about it.
Well, I'm not, unfortunately, I'm not sure what time we lost you.
Actually, I was told that at no time during the show since we started our segment was I coming through. So it sounds like none of what I said got through.
Well, then let's do it right now. And that, for those folks across the country and across the world that have never heard of the Madonna Inn, it is just a unique, terrific experience. And Sean, why don't you go ahead and, as though you hadn't said a word about it, talk about it now.
Yeah. So, of course, they did get to hear you talking about the men's bathroom, and they're not hearing my side. They're probably going, what in the world is she talking about? The men's bathroom, But yeah, so the Madonna Inn is in San Luis Obispo, California, and it's just one of the most unique hotels that you've ever seen. They've got all these different rooms that have different themes, and you can stay at a room that has almost anything you can think of. There are rooms that were designed like they were built like in a colonial era, or with a Western cowboy kind of theme. They've got ones that look like a cave, so you feel like a caveman living in this thing, and they've got modern ones, and they've got just all kinds of different. I think there's a Barbie doll one too, or something like that. And there's just all kinds of. I know for sure there is a pink room, and like everything in the room is pink. So
everything in that I keep wanting to call it a motel because it's not really a big hotel, but it's such a unique place. But everything there is pink. I mean, even the gas station is pink.
Yeah. So the outside of it is definitely pink. And so they obviously are going to have rooms inside that are all pink. And pink is the Madonna Inn. That's their color.
And they have this lead cut glass that makes up the windows, and they have a coffee shop, but they also have a big dining room, and it's just a magnificent place to go. And it's, like I say, it's been a long time for me, but they used to have a really nice dining room and dinner.
Yeah. I haven't been there forever either. It's been probably 20 years, but yeah, I would love. It's one of these days. If I have a reason, I've just never had a reason to really stay there before, because the rooms are obviously. I think the cheapest room there is at least $200 a night, which is not a lot when you're looking at California. But I've just never had a reason to stay there before. But the rooms go up from there, and they can cost several $100s a night to stay at.
Yeah, well, you need a reason to stay at a place like that. It's not the kind of place that if you're by yourself, you're going to go check into the Madonna Inn. That would be a waste, right?
Exactly. Yeah. My caveman site doesn't need to be fed all by myself. That's something you do on a honeymoon or a special weekend getaway or whatever, So yeah, one of these days I'll have a reason to go stay there, and it'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, then of course what we were talking about was the bathroom there. Is funny because when you in the I guess the main lobby area, they've got the men's bathroom, and you walk in. And actually, the seats are these two huge clamshells. They're massive clamshells are the sinks. And then you go to the urinal. The men's urinal looks like a rock wall kind of in front of you, with at the bottom is a porcelain tile basin. But you stand in front of this basin area, and it triggers a light beam. You block it when you stand there, and it turns on a waterfall. So you're literally peeing into this waterfall. And so people who go visit there, men and women alike, they go in, like you say, you would stand guard outside, so you could go in and they could look at the waterfall and check out the men's bathroom, and that was the thing to do. But
I remember they had a water pump, an old fashioned water pump to wash your hands with, and people would try to pump that doggone thing and didn't realize that if you just held the handle down, the water flowed freely.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that, but you're right. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, it was just everything about that hotel is very unique. It's just a fun place. And for people who want a fun getaway, that whole area, San Luis Obispo, Paso Robles, Pismo Beach,
oh yeah,
fun. It's beautiful up there. Tons and tons of eucalyptus trees, and I just love eucalyptus is my favorite tree, and they just smell so good, and they just look really cool, and so there's all these vineyards, there's wineries to go see up there, and then this whole area is just a lot of fun. And so someone who wants just a relaxing vacation to get away that's not ridiculously expensive, and you can go have a lot of fun. Like we went to the sand dunes just south of Pismo there and took the Jeep out and just pulled the Jeep up in the sand. It's like a small chunk of Sahara Desert right on the beach there, and it costs $5 to get in, and you drive down the beach for about a mile to get to the actual sand dunes, and there's just this huge open sandy area where you can, there's people on ATVs and motorcycles and sand rails, and I'm out there in my Jeep just, pounding my Jeep to death. I'm sure I probably broke something, but I just haven't figured out what yet. I had a wine glass that I had gotten at one of the vineyards there, and it was in the back, and I forgot about it, and when we were done playing, it was just little tiny shards. So I did break a wine glass, but I don't think I broke anything on my Jeep that at least not that I could find yet. But
it's interesting.
For $5 I could go off-roading and have a great time. But anyway, go ahead. What's up?
Yeah, it's interesting because when I was a young man growing up, before I even had a driver's license, my family, my mom, my dad, my sister, and myself, we would all go to Pismo Beach for this celebration that would take place every August, and everybody would just kind of converge on Pismo Beach. And one of the things that we would do is we'd go down into the sand dunes with dune buggies, and we'd go all over those things, and it's actually quite vast when you think about it, and these dunes are immense, and you could get lost back there.
Oh, you can get lost back there. You could, and you got to be careful because there's places you'll be driving along, and you're just having a good time, and if you're not paying attention, you'll go right over a drop off. You'll drop 15 feet down.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, like especially in something like some of these sand rails and sand buggies, they can take those kind of things, and they can recover from them. Mm-hmm. My Jeep, man, I actually came about 2 feet away from going over one of those, and it kind of made me a little nervous.
Oh yeah, just flipping over, right?
Yeah, it would just roll its way down. It would not be a fun day. So yeah, but it's this huge area. It's, like you said, it's just vast, and you would you just wouldn't expect that right there on the coast of California, but. It's a lot of fun. It's a fun place. And like I said, $5 to get in. It's so cheap. It's unbelievably cheap, especially for California.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a fun. I remember when I was a kid, Pismo Beach, the town of Pismo Beach is actually much larger now than it was when I used to go there. Of course, I'm much larger now than I was when I used to go there. Anyway, they had a downtown, and it was really cool. They had Brad's, and they had a movie theater, a Fox theater, and they had and it was right there. They had a roller skating rink, and they had a penny arcade, and they had the pier right there, and it was just really great. And our parents would take us over there, and they would just release you for the weekend. Your 3 days, they didn't care if they saw you or not. It was, of course, that was an era when things were a lot safer.
Yeah, when you can get away with that, right?
But it just brings back tremendous memories.
Yeah. Oh, it's the same here. I spent a lot of time in the summers when my parents were living there, and my mom and my stepdad, but we live there, and I go visit them, and you're during the summertime, and oh my gosh, I still to this day love, that's one of my favorite. It is probably my favorite area of California. But why I didn't choose to settle there, I don't know. But it's a neat area because it's got a lot of agriculture, so it's got this real cowboy kind of feel, and it's got a bunch of especially in San Luis Obispo, kind of a lot of outdoorsy sort of granola munching, tree hugging type people there, and then it's also got a college there, so it's a big college, and so it's got a real college town feel to it, and it's this real blend, and everybody gets along real well, and it's in fact they don't have any drive-thrus there in San Luis Obispo, and I think that's a really cool thing. If you want to get your McDonald's burger, you got to get out of your car and go get it. It's neat. I just love a lot of things about that whole area. It's fun.
Yeah, just fantastic. Now, you said you used to live out there. Does your family? You still have family that lives out there?
Yeah, no, not anymore. No, my parents lived out there for several years. They lived both in San Luis Obispo and in Pismo Beach. And so I, of course, spent a lot of time there growing up, and then also, after I left, went in the military and went to college and everything, ended up going back to visit a lot. And I just love it there. It's wonderful. I love all the eucalyptus trees. Are just get enough of them, and just the beach.
All right, so now I'm going to test you, okay? And thank goodness your mother is not actually on the air with us. But if I were to mention this location, Black's Beach, what would that mean to you?
Oh, well, I took my son there one time, and he was like, I think he was 14 or 15. I think he was 14 years old.
He had to be thrilled.
Yeah, he was just, it was before he went through puberty, and so he was just like kind of flabbergasted by the whole thing. But
okay, so you need to tell our listeners what it is. They're all wondering what the heck we're talking about here, Sean.
They're all wondering about Black's Beach. So Black's Beach is a beach just north of San Diego, and it's kind of it's an interesting beach because it's got excellent surfing, by the way, and it is really known for that on top of its other reason. But it's known for its surfing. It has great surfing, but you have to walk down this cliff that's, I don't know how high it is. It's several hundred feet, and you walk down this winding path down this cliff to get to the beach. And the beach is clothing optional. It's not technically legal, but people do it, and the cops have tried to enforce it in the past, and people just say, we're not going to pay your fine, we're not going to pay attention, we're not going to do what you want us to do, we're not going to put our clothes back on. And so Black's Beach is a clothing optional beach, and you'll see people walking around with nothing on. I've seen guys out there surfing totally naked and everything else. It's a fun beach to go to. It's very different, but it's a great beach. But yeah, it's clothing optional.
Well, that gives a whole new meaning to watch out for the sharks, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
You know what? When I was talking about Black's Beach, and maybe I was mistaken, and maybe I'm thinking about the one in San Diego, but I thought there was a Black's Beach just north of Pismo Beach, but the exact same thing.
Oh, maybe there is. I don't know. I never heard of one out there. That's the only Black's Beach I know is Black's Beach north of San Diego, but. It wouldn't surprise me if there was one up there. Like I said, that's kind of a free-spirited town. It's got that whole kind of hippie feel to it,
Yeah, well, Sean, it's okay because it's the same kind of beach.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
When you talk about getting some sun on the beach, you're talking about getting sun everywhere.
Exactly. No tan lines. How awesome is that?
So at what point did we go? At what point did we go from the Madonna Inn to Pismo Beach to nude beaches?
Nude beaches. Hey, I think it's a natural progression. So speaking of, and we'll get to this head transplant maybe next week if we can't get it to today. Because I'm actually kind of fascinated. But speaking of, and I don't want to use the word nudity here, but it kind of that's where I think people are going with it. I've been doing. I'm getting ready for this women's expo that I'm doing in Vegas next weekend, and we're promoting this program that is a program that is geared towards helping women get ready for pregnancy so that their body is healthy. So when they do become pregnant, they're already ahead of the power curve.
Is it an exercise? Is it an exercise kind of thing?
No, it's more. We do teach about exercising and those kind of things. That's not really where our stitch is. It's more of nutrition, getting the body nutritionally balanced, making sure the diet is right. Making sure the body is cleansed, free from toxins, the things that you could pass on to the baby. So when you do get pregnant, the baby is getting the proper nutrition that it needs for development in the womb, and it's not getting an onslaught of different toxins that your body might be storing.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. Are you one of the presenters, Sean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I am, and in fact, this is my program. I put this together, and I don't know anybody else who's doing this program. And so either it's going to be wildly successful or it's going to wildly fail. But maybe people aren't ready for it. But I really believe they are, and I'm hoping that it'll go over well. Because I've looked all over the internet, and I have not found anybody who does any type of program that helps women get ready for pregnancy.
So now, is this going to take place in Las Vegas, and it's this coming weekend, right? The 26th and 27th.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, is this a one-day or a two-day seminar?
No, it's the 19th and 20th. 19th and 20th. It's Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, what am I, a week ahead of myself? Yeah, must be.
Yeah, you jumped over a week, yeah. So it's the 19th and 20th at the Cashman Expo Center in Las Vegas. And so we're going to have a booth there, and it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm really excited about it. But I've been doing all this research, and of course I'm obviously, looking up a lot of stuff about pregnancy and about babies. Breastfeeding is a big thing. We're finding that that not only do we have to, got to watch out what we do while the baby's in the womb, but also if you're breastfeeding, you've got to watch out what's going on into your body as well, because it will pass through the breast milk to the baby. But then so got on the topic of breastfeeding, and what I found was really astounding, and this is not anything new, it's been going on for God knows how long, but there are people in our society that still get offended by women breastfeeding in public.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of in my life.
I know, and I cannot for the life of me wrap my mind around why this offends so many people.
Well, what incenses me even more is the insensitivity of people that are around mothers who are breastfeeding and I think purposely try to intimidate them or make them feel bad. And you know what? That's absolutely ridiculous. First of all, I think it's one of the most beautiful things in the world.
Oh, it is. There's nothing, I was there. I don't know if we ever talked about this before, but, my son was born all natural. He was born at home on our bed, and I was there. I was actually the one that caught him. I was the first person to touch him outside of his mom's body.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, it changed me as a person. It was the most amazing thing I have ever experienced. And I can tell you, I don't care how long I live. I can't imagine that I will ever experience anything that's going to top that experience ever. It was just so amazing to me. It was so glorious and beautiful. And then of course, the breastfeeding afterwards, the bond between the mom and just the benefits of, with the child. And it's just such an amazing thing to think that people want to take that away. I just don't get it.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And there's women out there who schedule C-sections, and I get why they do it. I totally disagree with it because there's so many benefits. If there's a problem and the mom's at risk or the baby's at risk, certainly I think a C-section's awesome if it's needed to save a life. But there's the mom has this microbiome, like we have in our gut, all these bacteria and all these organisms that live inside of our gut that help keep our microbiome in check. The mom has that as well, and it exists in the birth canal, and that microbiome is what you pass on to the baby. That's its first exposure to quote unquote the outside world is the microbiome from the mom. And when you do a C-section, you actually bypass that, and they're now saying that that's a lot of the reasons why so many kids are having health problems, including autism. It's not just the vaccines, and it's not just the pesticides and all these other things. It's the fact that they're this microbiome that's needed for their body to build a proper balance of bacteria inside of our gut and on our skin and in the mouth and everything else is being bypassed to these C-sections. And so that whole process to me, the natural birth, and I've talked to women who have had natural childbirth and who have done the epidural, and time and time again, I've heard the same thing. They say, when I did natural childbirth, I felt like it was something that I was doing. I was in control. I felt like I was delivering this baby into the world. But when I had the epidural, it felt like something was just happening to me. And so the experience was very different. And of course, a lot of women have not had both. They've had one or the other. But to change that natural process, and including the end result of breastfeeding, it's just I can't wrap my mind around it. Someone to
it's I can give you it's a 3-word explanation. It's a miracle. Nothing more than that. Listen, we got 45 seconds. You want to wrap up?
Yeah. So I will. Yeah, it is a miracle, and I'll tell you what. We're probably going to be talking more about this.
Yeah.
So I'm going to leave it at that. And when we come next, we'll come back Thursday. We've got 2 days from now. We'll be back on Thursday. We're going to talk about that head transplant. And that's mind-boggling.
Yeah. But before you do that, I want you to plug your seminar in Las Vegas right now. The time, the date, everything.
All right. So the time is I can't remember the exact time. So I think it's like 11 to 5 on Saturday and Sunday, the 19th and 20th at the Cashman Expo Center in Vegas. It's north of downtown. Saturday and Sunday, the 19th and the 20th, from I think 11 to 5 or 12 to 5 or something like that.
Hey, Sean. A great show. I I think I like it better, the sound, the way we're doing it this way now anyway. I might just make that permanent because the quality of it sounds so much better. You're maybe that person that keeps texting you will let you know if she likes the sound better this way or the other way.
Sounds great.
All right,
Robert,
buddy.
Thanks a lot. I had a great time.
You have a great, actually, we'll talk to you on Thursday, right?
I'll talk to you Thursday. You bet.
All right. You take care.
You too. Thanks.
Now, do not go away. When we come back, we're going to be with Suzette Mailer, and we've got some surprises in store for you because we're going to be talking about the environment. It's going to be exciting. So don't go away. We'll be right back with Suzette Mailer.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:08 p.m. Pacific time. It is currently 78 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, this young lady is just waiting in the wings. I want to bring her in an appropriate way. And so let's start it off with a little bit of fanfare. And ladies and gentlemen, on Earth, we can't live without it. Science, nature, and politics, from the skies above to the depths of the oceans below, the air we breathe, all of this from Suzette Mailer, our in-house environmental journalist who promises to fascinate you with mind-provoking details about our planet and all of its citizens of science. Robert Cardoza Live welcomes our own Suzette Mailer. Hey, Suzette, welcome aboard. You know what? I am just excited that we have you out there just absolutely digging in to find out what's going on about our planet. And I think it's going to be tremendously interesting, all the areas and directions that you can go in. I just find it absolutely exciting. Oh, really? You think so? Let's find out. Yeah, let's do it. Mm-hmm. Hey, Suzette, I'm sorry that I have to stop you. We're having a little bit of a technical problem, and the people can hear me, but they can't hear you. Can you just hang up and call me back on my cell? No, I'm not going to give you that over the air. I texted you. You'll have it. Okay, so we're going to be talking to Suzette Mailer in just a moment. We've lost the sound coming in on the board, and we're going to change that. We're going to fix it so that we don't ever have this problem again. And so I promise you that this will be an issue that we are resolving once and for all as of today. It just seems to be an ongoing problem that comes up from time to time, and we're going to make sure that we can eliminate this once and for all. So here we are with our own Suzette Mailer, our environmentalist specialist and journalist. Suzette, why don't we go ahead and start off that segment for you all over again, because people didn't actually hear what you had to say.
Okay. Well, the question is that we're posing today, is climate change a hoax? Because we hear our politicians calling it a hoax, and so they're not on board with climate change policy. So let's break that down. But I was going to start out with greenhouse gas theory 101. So I put a layman's, analogy together, and that analogy is as follows. We all know what a greenhouse is. It's all glass, and we grow our plants in it, and that glass keeps it warm, keeps the elements out, and keeps moisture in. Well, our atmosphere is very much like a greenhouse, and that atmosphere is made of CO2 and methane and some other gases. And and the more CO2 and the more gas that we have, the stronger that atmosphere becomes, so much so that heat can't escape it, or less heat can escape it into space. So what it does is it shoots that heat back down to Earth, and that's what's warming up the Earth. So when CO2 levels rise, and they have been on the rise, it means the Earth gets warmer, and that's a fact. So this heat on Earth is melting glaciers, and we know that because we can see receding glaciers, and that's causing water to rise. And there's been debate about water rising, but there's several glaciers that come into play. We have the Antarctic, where the ocean ice is actually expanding, but in the Antarctic, the land ice is actually receding at a greater rate than the ice is expanding. So that's causing water levels to rise. So due to the presence of large amounts of CO2, temperatures on Earth must increase, and that increase is going to lead to severe environmental problems. Okay, so the landscape of skepticism about global warming, and it is human caused. So what are the skeptics saying? Have you heard anything, Robert?
Oh, of course. I have a what's the word I want to? A prejudicial opinion about global warming and what the scientists are saying and what the general public are saying, and so I'm a little reticent to get into that right now while you're trying to to present facts. I mean, I can tell you what my position is, but I don't want to. I didn't want it to in any way influence the facts that you were trying to give out for the show.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. I have 7 reasons here, and I'm going to go through those rather quickly. So I'll give you what the skeptics say, and I'll tell you what the scientists are countering.
Perfect.
But okay, so there's a plateau in temperature rises. Okay, that they're trying to figure out why that is, and so that's causing some skepticism. The scientists counter this claim by saying oceans are some of the Earth's biggest absorbers of heat. So the absorption goes on over long periods as heat from the surface is gradually circulated into the lower reaches of the sea. So that could just be temporary, that our temperature has plateaued. But temperatures have gone up. And another,
wouldn't it be reasonable to say that if the largest absorber of heat are the oceans, that would then at some point that causes the global warming, because if the oceans get warmer and the ice starts melting in the poles, that makes the tides rise. That kind of explains the whole phenomenon, doesn't it?
It does. We are, if we lose our ice, that's a real problem.
Yeah.
So, I had mentioned that the Antarctic sea ice has been expanding. That is another source of skepticism, but scientists say that, that is expanding again. The sea ice, the Antarctic land ice is melting at a greater rate. In fact, there's a prominent climate scientist named James Hansen, and these scientists, they develop models, and that's how they can predict the outcome. They go back thousands of years using tree rings and geology, and then they take present data, and then they make these models. And he is projecting an ocean rise as much as 10 feet by the end of this century.
Wow.
And if that's, it's not all the science community is on board with this, but they're, what they're doing is they're trying to refute it. So we'll see what they all determine, based on this hypothesis. So, another thing is skeptics believe some in the science community are leveraging urgent action to capitalize on grants and government spending. Number 4, several corporate interests spend money to create confusion to delay governmental action that could impact their profits because they pump greenhouse gases into our atmosphere. 5, bias from the media. As climate change is politicized, constituents follow their party. So Republicans seem to have a bias against believing in global warming. And some theories are they have a mistrust of quote-unquote government science. And government science is basically science that is funded by federal agencies, and they think it might be politically driven. But, we wouldn't have the NASA space program if that were true, and that was such a successful program. So that's, number 6, it's a $4 billion a year scam by creating a new global warming industry. That's what, some people are saying. Mm-hmm. And 7, the second questions, and then we want to know, are greenhouse gases human related, and therefore can it be controlled by changing human activity on Earth, or are greenhouse gases non-human related and caused by solar cycles, natural variations in the climate over extended periods, and cloud cover, and etc. So that's the pros and cons, kind of a mixed bag of them.
Well, you know what? Let's stop there because we've got to go on a commercial break. And why don't you go on? Do you have your new website set up yet?
No, I don't. But I'm glad to give out my email, Suzette Naylor at gmail.com, SuzetteMailer@gmail.com.
And we'll be right back with Suzette Mailer, and she's going to be continuing to talk about our planet and how important it is. So don't go away. We'll be right back with Suzette Mailer and her environmental data right after this. Don't go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're talking to our own environmental journalist, Suzette Mailer. And Suzette, when we were done, you were talking about, you were actually making the case for global warming. And why don't you go ahead and pick up where you left off?
Well, it sounded like I was making a case, but I'm just trying to state the facts so that listeners can make a choice.
So yeah, actually, I should actually change the way I said that and say you're actually giving the facts so people can make their own case for or against.
Exactly. So, what does the scientific community say about global warming, and is it human caused? So, all right. First of all, let's establish that global warming is not a political issue. Global warming is a scientific issue. So let's check in again with the science community. There's a blog that I like. It's called skepticalscience.com, and they have endorsements from credible scientists, Yale and Berkeley and other important people. And their team reviewed 12,000 peer-reviewed abstracts on the subject of global warming and global climate change, published between 1991 and 2011. And they found that of the papers taking a position on the cause of global warming, over 97% agreed that humans are causing it. And so we have an overwhelming number of scientists admitting and confirming that climate change is real, and we need to take it seriously. But you can check out that blog site, skepticalscience.com. And
so is that an independent site, Suzette?
In what regard? It's not that I doubt it's government.
Skepticalscience.com. Is that an independent site?
I'm sure it is. It's a group of scientists, and I guess they look at studies, peer-reviewed studies, and report on it. So it's definitely worth looking at. Skepticalscience.com. So 97% of climate experts agree humans are causing global warming, and we should also consider official scientific bodies and what they think about climate change. And there are no national or major scientific institutions anywhere in the world, they report, that dispute the theory of human-caused climate change. They wrote not one. So, that's a very credible source. What makes that so credible is that they read the papers, the peer-reviewed papers, and counted how many were endorsed the climate change problem.
Are you saying that 100% of the bona fide scientists out there support the concept of global warming, or are you saying that it's, because I heard it was something like 96% of the scientists out there support the fact of global warming.
Well, these people are saying 97% of scientists who wrote peer-reviewed papers confirmed that we do have climate change and it is human caused, and they believe that.
And so, if it's human caused, then humans should be able to fix it, right?
They believe so, and they think that some scientists believe that we need to start turning the tide now, or it could be a permanent damage to the earth, based on their models. So.
Yeah, and you know what? And it's not like, it's not like we caused this overnight. We caused this over many, many years or decades, and it's going to take us decades to fix it, I'm assuming. Right.
We have a lot going on, we humans. People's jobs are dependent on it, and so our government, I think we need to trust our governments, but based on science. Check the science yourselves. How do we navigate through the information? How do we know what the truth is? And so I came up with some ideas, and that is scientists are experts in their fields, so we have to trust them. Politicians and religious leaders generally lack a scientific background, so we need to check their sources. For instance, Donald Trump is rumored to deny climate change, and it's only based on the terrible snowstorm he endured in the East Coast last winter. That's what he's basing on. He said, "There's so much snow here. How could there be global warming?" And so, but Trump.
Well, no. Before you go in that direction, what is the answer to that? Obviously, global warming is changing the weather patterns, and in the West coming up. It looks like we're going to have the worst winter that we've had in a long time, in that we're going to have this El Nino going on, and we need it. Whether or not it helps us enough, I don't know. But that also answers why we're having severe weather in the east, and it's going to be worse than usual. Yeah, it's going to be cold, but it's global warming that's causing these weather pattern changes. I'm guessing
extreme weather patterns.
Yeah,
that's the phrase. Yeah, I mean that's what Donald Trump experienced: extreme weather pattern, and Katrina, extreme. So before you follow a politician and a religious leader, because a lot of Protestants, they don't believe in it. They think it's a hoax, and they're not believing the scientists. And you have to look beyond these people and find out what they're basing that on. And another thing you need to look at, does the politician have a conflict of interest? For instance, if they're climate deniers, are they funded by the fossil fuel industry? To check all that out, because it's life or death. It really is life or death at this point. If we are wrong about climate change, if we deny it and we are wrong, we're in for trouble.
You know what? You're absolutely right. If for no other reason than the security of the inhabitants of this planet, and we're all sitting here, doesn't it make sense that if we're going to err, we err on the side of security and not on the side of oops, I guess we were wrong and we're all going to be annihilated? Something that really scares me, and I'm going to take a way off into left field here, Suzette, and that is that now the NASA and the Jet Propulsion Laboratory and scientists in general are looking and the astrophysicists are looking very strongly at the opportunity to inhabit Mars, because they think they can turn it into an inhabitable planet. Why would they be doing that?
Yeah, that
if they weren't worried? Yeah, if they weren't worried about what's going on here on Earth.
And that's been going on, since probably the 1960s. Well, since the space program. Maybe they've known something we didn't know.
Yeah, I heard someone say that there's two ways to make Mars inhabitable. We can do it the fast way or the slow way. Now, the slow way would be to let it evolve, the Mars, and it would just take years and years and years to create an atmosphere and life and water and all the stuff that's there. Or we could do it the fast way, and that's to do the same thing we're doing here on Earth, create global warming on Mars that would create this thing to go on. Well, obviously, if that's what they're talking about, then we're doing something wrong here, aren't we?
Yeah, and I think we can do something right. We can vote, do our research and vote. It's not voting for a politician; it's voting for science.
Yeah.
And there are things that I like about all the candidates, but not all the candidates support climate change. They don't believe in it. And that's important. And unless hopefully they'll change their minds. But I know we're going to be ending in a couple of minutes. And I just want to say President Obama and Secretary of State Kerry believe that climate change is a matter of national security, and as well as the Pentagon. And next week I want to talk about that. Why is it a national security issue? And I've got something very interesting to share with all of you.
Well, I think
it has to do with the Syrian refugees.
Yeah, and I think that you're right. But here's the thing: it's not just a matter of national security; it's a matter of international and world security, and that's what's going on. Unfortunately, we are the second largest emitter of the greenhouse gases that are causing global warming. China's number is number one. We're number two. But the two of us together cannot fix this problem. We need the whole world to get together and cooperate to fix this problem. It's not just a matter of national security. It's international and worldwide security that we should be thinking about here.
Well, we have the the IPCC, which stands for Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, and it's a scientific community under United Nations. So they are working to inform governments and work together to make change. And I know, United States is a big ship and China is a big ship to turn, but they are turning. And so, we have SB 350 coming up in California, and that you should check out. And, we have policy from Obama's Clean Power Plan. We need to consider that. And maybe new industries are going to form. We are going to have a climate change industry, and that's a good thing, because when we get off our dependence on fossil fuel and move our dependence on, our opportunity and hope onto a global
Well, I think
industry, that's a good thing.
Yeah, it is a good thing, and I think where we need to start is to stop saying it's the Obama initiative, it's the Obama plan, it's not that at all. It is our country's plan. It is our government's plan. We happen to have certain people that are in the leadership right now, and in that particular area, I happen to think they are going in the right direction. But you know what?
I'm glad to hear that.
There is such a problem today in the United States with, the right hates the left hates the right. They don't care if they're right or they're wrong, but if the other side wants it, it's a no. And if Obama wants it, it's a no. They got to get past that and get into, this is what we need to do for our own prosperity, the prosperity of our children, the lives of our children, and the efficacy of our own planet.
Yes. Well said.
Now,
well said.
We got 2 minutes.
We do. Well, let's see.
Let's talk about what you're going to talk about. We kind of led into it, and you wanted to talk about it a little bit, and you know what? And I think it is totally appropriate if within this sphere of environmental science and issues, you wanted to be a little political. I'm good with that.
Well, you have to. Politics is very, very, very much important. And, Susan Rice, the National Security Advisor, she writes, climate change is now well understood to be a major national security issue and a source of stress on a number of underlying causes of conflict: drought, floods, food shortages, water scarcity. All of these drive increased human insecurity, poverty, and can contribute to conflict. And I'm quoting her directly. And then we have President Obama, who makes a similar statement. He says, entire nations submerged underwater, cities abandoned, and refugees fleeing in droves as conflict breaks out across the globe.
And you know what? And it's not who's saying it; it's the facts that they're saying. It's got nothing to do with who says it. Unfortunately, we got 30 seconds left. So why don't you do a close to this and let people know what you want to talk about next week?
Well, next week we're going to talk about the geopolitical impact of global warming and what the scientists are projecting, and the economists and the and the politicians. Very, very important subject. It'll be on next Tuesday at 4:07. We will delve right into this.
Well, you know what? Fantastic show. I'm looking forward to next Tuesday. And you know what? As far as I'm concerned, we can talk about the facts the way they are. We can talk about the people that are in opposition to those facts. And if you want to bring politics into it, I'm good with that too.
Okay.
You have a wonderful week, and we will talk to you next week.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Have a nice week.
Good night, Suzette.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchase high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:40 p.m. Pacific time. It is currently 79 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, you know what today is, right? Sure you do. It's somebody's birthday. Here it is, September the 15th, and this person was born in 1890 and died in 1976, a writer best remembered for her 80 detective novels. Happy birthday, Agatha Christie. And here's a guy we all know, born in 1946, an Academy Award-winning American actor who presented the nominating speech for his college roommate, Al Gore, for presidential candidate. Happy birthday, Tommy Lee Jones, yeah. And finally, born in 1961, football quarterback, he became one of the most prolific quarterbacks in league history. Happy birthday, Dan Marino from the Miami Dolphins, absolutely. Well, what happened today in history? I can tell you, in 1821, Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, and Costa Rica jointly declare independence from Spain. And in 1963, the 16th Street Baptist Church bombing kills 4 children at an African-American church in Birmingham, Alabama, here in the United States. And then finally, in 2008, Lehman Brothers file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, the largest bankruptcy filing in United States history. And our quote for today comes from George Santayan, and George says that the wisest mind has something yet to learn. Isn't that a fact? That's prolific and an absolute fact, right? Well, let's talk about the secret daily teachings for your life. And you know that this is what I call a positive mental attitude issue. And you've always got to remember that you cannot be harmed unless you call harm into existence by emitting those negative thoughts and feelings. You have been given free will to choose, but when you think negative thoughts and have negative feelings, you are separating yourself from the one and all good. Think about every negative emotion that there is, and you will discover that every one of them is based in fear. They come from thoughts of separation and from seeing yourself as separate from another person or another thing or another thought. Keep it in mind. It's all about a positive mental attitude, and if you want to get ahead in life, you want to be successful in life, you want anything, you need to have a positive mental attitude. Well, let's talk about that Harvard business tip of the day. And the management tip today is think of your next presentation as a performance. You know, whether you're giving a presentation in a conference room or telling jokes in a comedy club, storytelling is the best way to keep your audience hooked. Keep these tips in mind to make your next presentation more engaging. Take a bar exam. Imagine you're in a noisy bar with only napkin drawings to tell your story. If you can make it work there, you can make it work anywhere. Or be immediately interesting. Your first line or two sets the tone for the entire presentation. Keep that in mind. And simplify and exaggerate. Your audience can only remember a few details, so streamline your delivery and exaggerate the main points. That's really, really important. And then finally, close strong. People instinctively crave strong, simple resolutions. Refer back to your opening lines to bring the story full circle. That, my friends, is, good information. Now, it's time for our interesting but useless facts. So let's get right to them. Do you know what the dumbest dog is? Any idea? An Afghan hound. That is the dumbest dog. Period. Worldwide. That's it. Fact. Done. How about this? Did you know that 60% of electrocutions occur while talking on the telephone during a thunderstorm? Give that some thought. You know, it was raining out here today. Well, I wasn't outside, so it should be okay, right? Did you know that tomatoes were originally thought to be poisonous? Well, you know what? I was going to say, you ever have a hamburger without a tomato? But I suppose a lot of people out there really do. Now, I'm one of those people who want everything, including the kitchen sink on my hamburger, and that includes tomatoes. So give it a thought. Did you know that work on St. Peter's Basilica in Rome began in 1506? Construction took over a century, reaching completion in 1612. Can you imagine that? 106 years. Wow. Wow, and what a magnificent place it is. If you've never been, you need to go. And if you have been, you know what I'm talking about. Fantastic. Did you know there are around 2,600 different species of frogs? They live on every single continent except Antarctica. There's one for you. So if you don't like frogs, you know where to go. Absolutely. Did you know that Worcestershire sauce is basically an anchovy ketchup? But it's got a lot more stuff in it. I can't say, I love to cook. And I use Worcestershire sauce in a lot of things because it's got so many spices and so many things, including anchovies in it, that it makes foods, no matter what kind of food you're using, it does make a difference, but it makes it all a lot better. Here's one for you. Alan Thicke, the father in the TV show Growing Pains, wrote the theme songs for The Facts of Life and Different Strokes. There's one for you. Did you know 70,000 people in the United States are both blind and deaf? That's sad, isn't it? You know, we were actually talking yesterday to Angelica Wagner, and Angelica Wagner deals with non-invasive brain therapy and treatments, and actually can stimulate the brain to regenerate a lot of these things. She has cases where they're regenerating the retina of the eye, so people can see again, the brain stem, and the short-term brain issues. Just magnificent things that are unbelievable. Well, here's one that you may or may not care about. Did you know that iguanas have two penises? They must have quite a life, I'm thinking. Here's one for you. At 120 miles per hour, a Formula One car generates so much downforce that it can drive upside down on the roof of a tunnel. Wow. Can you imagine that? Now that is amazing. Let me leave you with this. Insects outnumber humans by 1,000,000 to 1. Now, give that some thought while we're on this commercial break. Don't go away. When we come back, I'm going to answer your emails. You'll be glad I did. And the first email I'm going to answer is over Withholding Solutions. Tell you all about that right after these brief messages. Don't go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:52 p.m. Pacific time. It is currently 79 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, we've got my good buddy John Matthews waiting in the wings. He's going to be telling us all about his show tonight, The Conservative Syndicate. He's on every Monday through Wednesday from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Pacific time. Hey, John, you out there?
Yes, we are. How you doing tonight?
Oh, doing terrific. You know what? I saw a little blurb on the show a little earlier, and hopefully, you're going to tell us a little bit about it right now.
Well, we're doing okay on this side. Are you hearing me okay?
Yeah, hear you perfect.
Okay. Well, we got kind of an interesting show tonight. We're bringing on our first a new addition to our conservative panel, Donald Dix, who does a radio show out here in California on 590 AM, The Answer. And he is also the chapter head of Southern California Act for America, which is a Islamic think tank. And what he does is these people study terrorism, and they go out and they educate the public on terrorism and Sharia law and things like that. And so we've had Don on the show a couple of times, and we decided to bring him on as a regular contributor. He's very active in the Riverside Republican Party also. So it's good to have somebody on the inside that has the ability to hang around rhinos all day and still keep his
Wait a minute. You know, I never met a grape I couldn't cuddle up to. Don't be picking on winos.
I'm sorry?
I said, I never met a grape I couldn't cuddle up to, so don't be picking on winos.
Well, Don's a good guy. He's very, very, very intelligent, very articulate. And so we decided we need to add somebody else to the panel, so we're bringing him on. So we're going to be talking about the Iran deal and how that's filtering down, and of course, what's going on with the refugee crisis now, where Obama is doing what he did with the illegal immigrants right now. He's starting to funnel them in and sort them out between the different states. And so we're going to be talking about that tonight. And then, of course, Bernie. What about Bernie? Like Bernie is my topic these days. I love this guy.
You've been burned by Bernie, huh?
I just love the fact that he's just, what he's had to do is Hillary's got to shift her campaign now. She's got to try to come off as a centralist. I don't know how she's going to do that, but that's how she knows that she's on the run. So we're going to be talking to Hillary and Bernie and of course, the debate tomorrow with the Republican GOP. So that's pretty much what's on our agenda.
Well, sounds fantastic, John. Listen, you have a great show. I'll talk to you in a little bit. And basically, I know you're going to have a great show. Sounds exciting.
All right. Just catch us at theconservativesyndicate.net. You can pick us up live. Just go click at 5 o'clock, and boom, we're on.
And that's every Monday through Wednesday from 5 to 7 at theconservativesyndicate.net. Hey, John, talk to you later.
All right. Take care, man.
All right, buddy. So, you know what? We're at the entertainment part of this show, and I want to remind you that that's exactly what it is. We're going to give you information, but, I'm doing this from your emails, and sometimes the data you give me is just a little bit sketchy, but I'm going to give you the best information that I possibly can. But always, 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 we encourage you to talk to a licensed professional. They're going to always save you more money than they cost you. And they'll give you peace of mind, let you sleep at night. That's basically where we're at with that. And so, having said that, my first email today comes from Priscilla Loke from Arvada, California, asking about tax treaties, and says, "How can I find out about a tax treaty that the United States has with a foreign nation?" Priscilla, IRS publication 901, that's U.S. tax treaties, provides an overview of tax treaties, how they operate, and who they affect. The full text of tax treaties that U.S. government has entered into with about 60 foreign nations are available on the IRS website at www.irs.gov. Now, enter United States income tax treaties in the search box. But you know what? You really have to be careful here, because these are technical legal documents, and you should interpret them only with the help of a professional who is expert in international taxation. So just kind of keep that in mind a little bit. It's really an important thing. And then my final email comes from Aramis Mendoza from Pacific Palisades, California, asking about a home office danger, and says, will a home office deduction attract an IRS audit? Well, you know what? The home office deduction is much less of an audit red flag today than it was a generation ago. It's far more common, and Congress and the IRS have regularized the rules that once led to tax disputes today. Now, it also doesn't particularly create more of an audit risk than any other common business deduction, unless it's unusual in size or in some other way, which is true of all deductions, by the way. If you file an honest return and are legitimately entitled to a deduction, you should take it and not fear the IRS auditor. There's no point in paying more than you actually owe the IRS. So you need to be safe. Check the rules with IRS publication 587 as business use of your home, and take photos of your office and to document that you use that, in just case the IRS wants to check on that with you.
That's our show for today. Beginning today, treat everyone you meet as if they were going to be dead by midnight. Extend them all the care, kindness, and understanding that you can muster. Your life will never be the same again. So many of our dreams at first seem impossible, then they seem improbable, and then when we summon the will, they soon become inevitable. You know, the real secret of happiness is to make others believe that they're the cause of it. Robert Cardoza Live is brought to you by blogtalkradio.com every Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Now, go out and make it a great day. Your host has been Robert Cardoza, the technical advisor, Matchstick Digital, and your executive producer, also Robert Cardoza.
Okay, everybody, that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed today's show as much as I enjoyed producing it for you. Don't forget to join me again tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific Time for another installment of Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. You know what? I kind of got ahead of myself here a little bit. I don't know how that happened. I think I probably forgot to do my normal close of the show. And so, I certainly want to thank you for listening to Robert Cardoza Live at the intersection of business and politics. Robert Cardoza Live broadcasts on Spreaker Radio, Roar 1776 Radio, MyCast Live Radio, and countless terrestrial stations worldwide every Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific Time, and on 405 Media Radio Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Pacific Time. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, and YouTube, where you can listen to all of my shows 24/7. Go to my website at www.robertcardozalive.com and email me at robertcardozalive@gmail.com. Now, on my next show, my expert contributor is Ray Mailer with his series, The American Grid, and my special guest is Joel Salzman, Dr. Wireless, talking about what's new in the wireless world. I encourage you to tell all of your friends about my show here on the RLC Broadcasting Network. In the meantime, stay safe, be good, be happy, and good night, everybody.